For the most part, children, especially boys, tend to follow their father's lead in a profession. In my case, I did as well. I'm third generation soldier. That means the Army flows through my veins. I guess you could say kind of like the Force flows through a Jedi. But me being rotten to the core, I'm more on the dark side. Get it? Dark side. Y'all never get my jokes. I don't understand. You know, when I joined the military, I didn't join it to defend the United States of America's way of life. I didn't join it out of patriotism. I'll be honest with you, I didn't. I joined the Army because at the time, I couldn't stand Marines. Air Force wasn't even a consideration. And Clint Eastwood's Heartbreak Ridge, man, had me ready, had me hyped. I'm not gonna lie. Air Force was still wearing greens. I didn't realize how cool they were until after the fact, like jungle fatigues. And I kind of joined the Army because they had camouflage. Yeah, because of the camouflage uniforms. That is a dumb reason to join anything. A uniform? Really? But then, after I made it through basic training and got to my first duty station in Fort Bragg, I saw this movie called Hamburger Hill. Man, that movie was jacked up. And then they started talking about gas and nuclear biological. I'm like, what the heck did I should have went to college, man. I was like, oh crap. And then started learning about the war doctrines and the tactics of like Russia, because at the time they were the bad guys. And well, they're probably still the bad guys. But hey, I don't know anybody from Russia, so whatever. So anyway, and how the Spetsnaz, one of their tactics was to destabilize the rear echelon elements. And oh, by the way, I was rear echelon. Okay, I'm not special forces, man. I'm just a regular dude at the time. So yeah, hearing all this, I was really, really like, why did I join the military? And then they're like, okay, as a field artillery soldier, your life expectancy in combat is 11 seconds. I made a mistake. I need to get out of here. Yeah, I made a mistake. But once you make it past that 11 seconds, man, everything else is easy, I guess. So I made it past that 11 seconds a couple times. I don't know. Call me crazy. But for many of the generation that served in World War II, that war will be over soon. And people don't realize that World War II will be over for a lot of people real soon. You're like, Brian, World War II has been over for a very long time. It's been over for you who didn't live during that time parameter. It's over for you because you studied in the history books. But people who lived and fought in World War II or that World War II era, they tend to relive those accounts every day. They remember those times, those things pop up that make them remember, and they reminisce. Now, once that generation passes, so does that era. Many vets today, they're still in combat, emotionally as well as psychologically. And I'll be honest with you, people underestimate a vet. And they think, oh, they have PTSD, or they have they're doing something crazy, or their behavior is not one of they're used to, or what they feel is indicative of the armed services. Because they've never been in armed services, so they wouldn't freaking know. But it's just a thought. Why are they acting that way? Because a lot of soldiers are still fighting the war or certain battles in their mind. This is not about PTSD, and I'm not going to get into that. So I'm just giving you a concept that for some people, the war still goes on. And for the era of WW2, that will be past, because a lot of those people were in the 90s, late 90s. I think one just passed, I can't remember his name, as of recently, of within the last 2 weeks. Now, here's the thing. When you join the military, you give up certain rights, certain constitutional rights at that. And that's something that you expect. So that's why they say selfless service. To be a 1%er, that's why I like to say a 1%er, not the 1% rich, but the 1% really broke, because, okay, I'm not going to get to that. The 1%ers who will give up their freedom, their lifestyle in defense of this nation. Anyway, so I was out and about. Yeah, you say you just kind of jumped to another subject. I was out and about, and I was going on one of my service calls, and I ran to this guy. He's actually a nurse, and he's been a nurse for this one patient for like 18 years. So we were actually in the military at the same time. I was probably like a private or something like that, and he was a master sergeant. And it just something about me that he said, where'd you serve? He just knew that I was I had been in the military at one point in time, and we talked about it, and both had made some mention about about how things didn't always go the way we wanted to go during our retirement. But in the end, we were both like, we wouldn't change that time we served for nothing in the world. And he was just talking, and it was hot. I think this one like these 95, 98 days or degree days, and I'm sitting there. I'm doing the social distancing outside with my mask on. I'm bald headed, so sweat's running down my face, man. So I'm like muy bueno hot. Not muy bueno, it's good, but I'm very, very hot. Oh yeah, muy caliente, baby. Yeah, that's it. I'm very, very hot. I'm like, and he sees him sweat. Hey man, go get some water. I'm like, thanks a lot, I appreciate it. So while I was out, I seen a guy. He was on the side of the road. He's a panhandler, and he had a sign, and the sign said, "Homeless Marine." And I'm looking at him, I guess in the same eyes as someone would look at me. I don't see a Marine, I don't see a soldier, I don't see anything military about him. But I'm not saying his current disposition doesn't mean that he didn't serve. It doesn't mean that. It just means that right now he has a sign in front of him showing me that he's a Marine outside of Lackland Air Force Base, hoping to get someone to throw him some money. And with this day and age of stolen valor, I just couldn't bring myself to do it, because I'm not going to give my money to a bum. I'm not going to give my money to a bum. And you're thinking, that's pretty harsh. Well, you're right. It is pretty harsh. But I'll tell you right now, I was to become homeless, I wouldn't panhandle. I got too much pride for it. I'd figure out a way to work, do something. Hell, then I just might become naked and afraid wherever I'm at and then live off the land. I don't know. I just couldn't bring myself to do that. And there's reasons why, and I'll get into this a little bit later. But the mind